The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management,
Hi, I'm
or
Alicia
sponsors.
Curry, and I'm here to influence, educate, inspire, and entertain you with audacious confidence. Audacious confidence is the unshakable belief in yourself that's so bold and so daring that you live your life without limits or restrictions. So join me on my show, Unleash Your Audacious Confidence, so we can discover the unknown you. Call in to join the conversation at 888-565-1470. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome. Welcome. It's Monday. Yes, it's the middle of April. Hopefully you got your taxes in on time. So I actually did my taxes early this year. Yay! So I am live here on Facebook. We all know I'm pre-recording this show because I'm in New Orleans. Yay! And I am doing my book signing. Hi! I am in New Orleans doing my book signing. So I just wanted to invite people here on Facebook to join the conversation with me as I go live, pre-recorded this show. I know, crazy, right? But hopefully you'll join me again when it airs on Monday, the 17th. So, hi. So last week, I wanted to just kind of continue what we started with last week. But before I do that, if you are watching on Facebook, I want to say hi and thank you for watching. And don't forget to share and give me some love with the hearts and the likes and the smiley faces. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, remember to subscribe and to give a thumbs up if you like the content. And if you're watching on Periscope, hello, don't forget to share because sharing is caring. And just a quick reminder, if you have not yet and you are planning to support the Boys and Girls Club of America, I was nominated as one of the 100 influential women of Broward County, and I'm asking 100 friends to donate $10 to the Boys and Girls Club of America. You can go to my website, acradio.live, and you can donate $10 to the Boys and Girls Club, and I will so appreciate it. And I know the boys and girls will greatly appreciate it too. So thank you so much for your support. Thank you for all the hearts. Thank you for watching. Those of you who are tuning in right now on Facebook, thank you, thank you, thank you. So let me go back to last week. And last week I said that we were talking about a little bit about personal branding and just answering a question there, talking about personal branding. And we started with posture because the way I see personal branding, I see the 3 P's to personal branding: posture, presentation, and positioning. And we were talking about posture. And I said that in order to have a strong posture, thank you very much, Pat. In order to have a strong posture, you need to have a strong core. Right? That's what all the fitness, when you go to the gym, they have you work on your core because your core helps you stand tall. Building those muscles help you alleviate pressure on your back. So I started off talking about a core, and core is an acronym for how to build your posture. And thank you all for joining on Facebook, watching on live on Facebook here. And so in order to have a strong core, we're going to start with confidence. And I spoke at length about confidence during that whole show. And I even spoke a little bit about this book here. And I'm going to go into more about the personality types in the book. But I wanted to give, because at the end of the show, I had someone tell me, what about the rest of the word core? You only dealt with the C. We want to know the rest of the core. So I'm going to give you the rest of the core today. And then we're going to talk a little bit about personalities. Hopefully I don't run out of time, but because you guys know I like to talk. So, so C, we start off with C. So today I'm going to deal with O. O is orientation. When you're dealing with your core, you need to be oriented correctly. And when I'm talking about orientation, I mean, what are your beliefs? What are your values? What really keeps you centered? What is your mission and what is your attitude? So you really need to dig deep and not just know, but also write down, really record what those core values that you have. What are those things that really keep you centered and keep you on the right course? Because if you do not have that center, then you can sway from side to side. So really knowing what your core values are is really vital. So you need to really list those things out and then see if you are sticking to your core values. And then what are your beliefs? You know, there are a lot of belief systems out there, a lot of things that people believe, a lot of things that we believe differently. And so knowing the things that you really believe and that really keep you centered and really keep you on the right track, it's also very important for you to write those things down. Because when you write them down, then you can really anchor yourself in those things. So write down your beliefs, write down your values, and they're different because what you value is different from what you believe. They can fall within the same vein. For instance, you can say, well, I value living in a home with my parents, my grandparents. You know, there are families now that have multiple generations that live in the same home. So you can say that, you know, you value that keeping that generation together, keeping multiple generations in the same house. And you believe that by keeping multiple generations, that it helps really guide and direct your children because they don't just learn from you, but they learn from their grandparents and their great-grandparents. So while you value that, it also supports your belief. So things like that. Look at what you value. Look at what your beliefs are. So moving on to the R. So now I have 2 R's and I have 2 E's. So my core is really spelled CORREE. So when we're moving on to the first R is relevance. And how, Phyllis, you're writing good. I know you're recording all of this because you were going to come and be my guest tonight. And I'm so sorry that you're not feeling well, but I hope you feel better, Phyllis. And you are able to be up and strong again tomorrow. So relevance is the first R. How do you fit into today's marketplace? How are you relevant to your audience? Are you outdated in the material that you're bringing? Are you core? Are you outdated in your strategies, or are you being innovative? Are you being cutting edge? Are you developing new technology for the way that you deliver to your clients and your customers? Is even your customer service, is that relevant or is it outdated? You know, now that technology is moving so quickly, being on social media and connecting to your customers directly is really important. And if you're not doing that, you're not being relevant to them if they are on social media. So you really need to make sure that what you're doing is relevant to the marketplace today and that you're staying creative. I had a guest last week who talked about doing things out of the box. You know, Carol talked about always being out of the box and always doing things that were different so that she can bring something new and relevant to her clients and not just the same thing over and over again that they can get anywhere or that they're seeing over and over again. So it's important to make sure that you're relevant, not just to your clients, but also to today. And don't be outdated and stale with your material. Now, having said that, also make sure that not everything is outdated, because I want to be very clear. A book like Think and Grow Rich cannot be outdated because relevant is awesome because the information in it is timeless. So there's a difference between being outdated and being timeless, because there are just things that will stand the test of time, and you can read them 50 years ago, have read them 50 years ago, sorry, and it's still relevant today. But what brings it into this century is how you are applying it. How are you appropriating it? So don't think that everything old is outdated. You can bring the old material in. Like, I'm going to be talking about personalities, and I read this book. Let me see, when was this book even published? I read this book 23 years ago or 24 years ago, and it's still the information in it is relevant, and it's not outdated, because how you apply it now to your life will bring it to today, make it relevant to today's society. So I've talked enough about relevance. The next R is results. So many times people say they do this and they do that and they do everything else. I'm sorry, I'm just talking to one screen. I need to speak everywhere because I'm reading the comments on Facebook. Let's talk about results for a second, because I'll turn it this way so I can see both and not look like I'm, not talking to you guys, watching me live. So let's talk about results. A lot of times let's say you started something new. You started a new process or a new system or a new business even. And it's still important that you can record results that you've had with your clients. I have a coach who talks about people transitioning from the corporate world into their own business. And they're afraid of talking about the results that they got for their clients in the corporate arena because they're in a new business. But she said, you still did that work and it's still results that you had. So why are you not sharing the results that you got for your clients? Yes, this is a new business that you have, or it's a new venture, but you're still doing the same. It's in the same industry, or you're still using the same process. So don't neglect or think that just because you're doing this business now, that the results that you had or that you got for your clients is not important or relevant to what you're doing today. So recording your results and being able to look back and see really how you've helped your clients and really what you've done to be of value and of service to them also helps center you. Because when you can show that what you do helps someone else, it helps build your confidence in what you're doing. It helps build your reputation, and it helps you really feel good about the work that you do for other people. And that will help you promote yourself and market yourself even better, because now you're not feeling like, well, I don't know what I'm really doing here, or I don't know how to really tell people how I do what I do. Go to the results that people get. Ask them how you've benefited them. Ask them what are the things that they got from you if you don't have actual tangible data. So your results, that's one way that it helps develop and strengthen your core. So the next thing, the first E, is your experience, which also is, I guess, a sister to the results that you're getting. Because if your experience can help you develop that process that you're giving to your clients, it also helps build your core. You have to be able to document your own experiences, document the things that you've done over the years, document how it's helped people, because your experience helps you build your story, and it helps you connect with other people, because they may have the same types of experiences that you have. So it's not just your experience in what you do, in the work that you do, but it's also the experiences that you've had. Sometimes your failures, sometimes the things that you've done that you've had to learn from, those experiences help you develop your stories. And it's what really helps. Let me think of an example. For instance, I was a flight attendant, and so I was very young when I started flying. I was a flight attendant when I was 18 years old, and I flew around the world. And so that experience of me at 18, getting on a plane and working and going over to Europe, going all around the world, helped me be a little bit more independent. So I don't have a challenge getting on a plane and going anywhere that I'm invited to go to. It's not a problem for me. So that helps me not be afraid to leave my my area. So I'm not afraid to go anywhere and do anything. And I think that experience, I can go even further back than that, because I grew up in Australia. I was born in Trinidad, and my family flew all the way to Australia when I was almost 5. I was 4.5 years old, and I grew up in a foreign land. And so that experience has also helped me sort of know that there is a bigger world out there that I can enjoy. So, your experiences, you can see how your experiences build your confidence over time if you look back at it and use those experiences to show how you've grown. Let me see. The other E, the final E in the core, CORREE, is your expertise. So, what is your expertise? You have a professional binder. That is so awesome. So you can show, Sandra, you can show in your professional binder. Yes, I'm reading comments on Facebook. You can show in your professional binder to clients what experience you have. That's great. And your expertise. So expertise is great for someone who is creative like me, because what are you an expert in? When you look at your expertise, a lot of us do a lot of things. And a lot of times, many times, we don't necessarily connect the dots with certain things. For instance, I'll tell you a little story about... I'm trying to remember her name, Morgenstern. I'm trying to remember her first name. I'm sorry. I'm drawing a blank with her first name, but she's the organizing queen. Way back when Oprah had her show, I think it's Julie Morgenstern. I think it is. And she was actually a screenwriter. She did some acting. And what happened with her is that she wasn't really getting a lot of success with the screenwriting, the directing, and acting in that field. She had a little bit of success, not a great amount of success. But she realized that what helped her was the way she organized everything when she had to direct, the way she organized. I hope I'm getting this story right because I read it a long time ago. But her organizational skills was something that people would ask about more often than ask her to come and act or direct the plays. So it's how she organized everything. And that led her to having a $1 million company in a skill set that she took for granted because she really wanted to write and direct. So sometimes the thing that we do that we don't even really pay attention to is really a gift and an expertise that we have that someone else needs. So sometimes when you're looking at your expertise, we don't always connect the dots to someone needing that product or service, or how Julie Morgenstern. Yes, so I did get it right. Thank you, Phyllis. So sometimes we don't really connect the dots, and you could be really great at something that just seems so benign, and that's your real gift, and that's where you're an expert. That's what you're an expert in. Organizing from the Inside Out. That's her book, Julie Morgenstern. And she brought a whole new dimension to organization when she was on Oprah. So, you just never know sometimes until you start cataloging and asking people, what do they see in you? What kind of expertise do you have? Hi, Courtney. Hi. I will be on Courtney's show, on Courtney's summit next month. So Courtney Coleman, she's going to be a guest at the end of this month. So look out for that, Courtney Coleman. So look at your expertise. Ask people if you're not sure exactly what you're an expert in, or what kind of gifts or talents or skills that you have. Feel free to ask people what kind of value you bring to them, so that you can start having a well-rounded core, so that your core can be strong and your posture can be good and strong. And when you're ready to tell your story to people, you can weave in your expertise, your values, your beliefs. You can weave in parts of your experiences and why you're confident and why you're unique. You have to write those things out so that they just roll off your tongue really easily. And it's not such a challenge to figure out why you do what you do and how to connect with other people with what you do when you kind of break it down into those different things. So I don't even know how much time I have left, but I did want to give you just something really quickly from this book on personalities, because I talked about it briefly the last time we were together, and we talked about the sanguine personality, the choleric personality, the melancholy personality, and the phlegmatic personality. And this book is by Florence Littauer. It's Dare to Dream. And I got 4 minutes. Thank you, Florence. Thank you, Phyllis, my timekeeper. So that I want to tell you what you're best at. So if you find out you're a sanguine personality, you're best at initially contacting with people, creating enthusiasm and excitement, and encouraging and uplifting others, and making sure the group has fun. If you're a sanguine personality, you're all about fun and popular, being the life of the party. So Courtney says that what she does with people is, finding their innate core values. Yep, got to find your core. So if you are a choleric, what you're best at is motivating people into action, controlling their plans and productivity, giving quick and clear instructions, and making sure the group sees the immediate gain. This is for business. This is your personality in business, by the way, if I didn't say that before. Melancholy personality. Okay, Courtney, you're melancholy choleric. You're best at planning and explaining details, keeping the books in order, being sensitive to the needs of others, and making sure the group sees the long-range goals. And if you are a phlegmatic personality, which is the peace giver, the phlegmatic personality is best at making sure the group is relaxed and comfortable, always finding a middle ground, and not threatening any of the participants in a group, and not overreacting to negative situations. So hopefully you are playing to your strengths if you are any of those personalities. And you, again, you can either read her book, it's called Personality Plus, where they break down all the different personality types, or you can get this book, it's called Dare to Dream, and she talks about how to build your dream based on your personality type. So I think my time is up now. I thank you all so much for joining me live on Facebook here and on YouTube and on Periscope. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And again, for the Boys and Girls Club, if you haven't yet donated, go to my page, acradio.live, and you can, yes, it's like the disc, Carrie. And you can donate $10 to the Boys and Girls Club and support my nomination for the 100 most influential women of Broward County. And I thank you. So everyone have a great week, and I'll see you again next week. Mwah, 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 mwah. I love you. Bye. A wise friend always says to me, we have a finite number of minutes to spend. And just like you can only spend $1 once, you can only spend 1 minute once. It's your choice. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for choosing to spend some of your minutes with me on my show. I wish you love, health, and happiness to live your life with audacious confidence. I love you, and we'll see you next time.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.